Tragic accident claims lives of 3 young men in quarantine. Tragedy struck early Monday morning when a horrific motorcycle accident on the number 79 public road resulted in the deaths of 3 young men. The deceased have been identified as 18-year-old Kayshawn Ramnauth, a laborer from number 60 village, and 21-year-old Amir Subhan, a supervisor at Queensway Security Service. Ramnauth was riding a motorcycle, #CN6641, just after midnight, with 22-year-old Adrian Inzhan as the pillion rider. Reports indicate that Ramnauth and Inzhan were traveling south in the eastern lane at a high speed when Ramnauth allegedly lost control of the motorcycle. They collided with another motorcycle, #CP3158, which Subhan was riding, heading north in the western lane. The impact sent all 3 individuals, both riders and the pillion passenger, crashing onto the roadway, resulting in varying degrees of injury. A witness to the incident rushed to their aid and transported them to the Skeldon Public Hospital while they were unconscious. Upon examination by the on-duty doctor, both Subhan and Ramnauth were pronounced dead. Inzhan, who was also unconscious, was subsequently transferred to the New Amsterdam Hospital for further medical care. Tragically, police have confirmed that Inzhan succumbed to his injuries later that same day. The police are actively investigating the circumstances surrounding the accident, and further updates are expected as the inquiry unfolds. Pedestrian killed in Williamsburg quarantine accident. Police are investigating a fatal accident that occurred on Sunday, February 23, 2025, around 7:30 p.m. on Williamsburg Public Road, Quarantine, Burbus. The incident involved a motor lorry, registration #GTT6824, and a pedestrian, resulting in the tragic death of 64-year-old Dennis Jilks, who was a vagrant with no fixed abode. According to police reports, the lorry is owned by Bamana Nadesan of Lot 19 D. Nig Settlement, Corinty, Burbus, and was driven by 24-year-old Nicholas Yadram, a chauffeur from Lot 4, Block 1, Kilcoy Chesney Village. Initial investigations indicate that the lorry was traveling west along Williamsburg Public Road at a normal rate of speed. Yadram reported that 2 motorcars were ahead of him when the front car overtook the other. At that moment, he noticed Jilks walking in the center of his lane approximately 10 feet away. In an attempt to avoid a collision, Yadram applied the brakes, but the front portion of the lorry struck Jilks, causing him to fall onto the road and sustain multiple injuries. After the accident, Yadram, along with bystanders, transported Jilks, who was unconscious, to the Port Morant Public Hospital in the same lorry. Unfortunately, upon arrival, he was pronounced dead by the attending physician. The body of Dennis Jilks is currently at Ramu's funeral home, awaiting a post-mortem examination. Police investigations into the incident are ongoing. Tragic accident claims life of 40-year-old man in WCD. Police are investigating a fatal accident that occurred early this morning at approximately 12:10 a.m. on the Waller's Delight Public Road. The incident involved motorcar PVV 2663, driven by Ashley Raymond, a 43-year-old female from Utvlugt, and pedestrian Abdul Sharaf Rahim, a 40-year-old resident of Section B, Cummings Lodge, East Coast, Demerara. According to reports, Rahim's wife, Sonia Ramlakan, 32, informed investigators that her husband was attempting to retrieve his car keys from her, but she refused as he was under the influence of alcohol. In frustration, Rahim walked across the road, lifting his hands in the air and standing directly in the vehicle's path. The driver stated that the area was poorly lit, and despite her efforts to avoid a collision, the right front side of the car struck Rahim, causing him to be thrown into the air. He landed on the vehicle's windscreen before rolling off the bonnet and onto the roadway. Emergency services were called, and Rahim was transported to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. His body has been taken to Ezekiel Funeral Home, pending a post-mortem examination. Authorities have confirmed that investigations into the incident are ongoing. 41 officers promoted in the Guyana Defense Force. The Guyana Defense Force, GDF, has announced the promotion of 41 officers, following approval from His Excellency, President and Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. This decision aligns with Part 3 Section 16 of the Defense Act 1501 of 1977. Leading the list of promotions is Substantive Lieutenant Colonel Lloyd Souvenir, who has been elevated to the rank of Substantive Colonel and serves as the Commandant of the Guyana National Reserve. In addition, Acting Lieutenant Colonels Raymond Archer, John Mohanlal, and Jose Ferreira have been confirmed in their ranks as substantive lieutenant colonels. 9 substantive majors have also been promoted to acting lieutenant colonel, including Kevin Langvine, Cranson France, Jamie Costello, Marvin Simpson, Kevon Gray, Jocelyn Asana, Damon Joseph, Keith Watts, Kirk Marlock. Moreover, acting Major Kareem Graham has been made substantive in his rank. Substantive captains Ian Cameron, Brent Nalbart, Michael Favorite, and Othniel Hope have been promoted to acting major, joining the esteemed corps of senior officers. The Coast Guard, CG, also saw significant promotions, with acting commander Adrian McLean elevated to substantive commander. Additionally, 3 substantive lieutenants Clinton Venture, Kenrick Rodney, and Derek Johnson have been promoted to acting lieutenant commander. Congratulations are extended to all newly promoted officers for their achievements and dedication to the service. Suspect arrested for murder of 23-year-old Little Diamond man. Police have arrested Alex Gonzalez, the primary suspect in the murder of 23-year-old Shiv Prasad, an auto body technician from Little Diamond. Gonzalez was captured around 11 a.m. today following the fatal incident that occurred last night. According to police reports, Prasad was stabbed to death around 10:30 p.m. in the Skull City area after a confrontation with Gonzalez. Earlier that day, the 2 men had been drinking together when a misunderstanding escalated into a physical altercation. At the time of the incident, Prasad was with a friend, Daimon Ramnarine, when Gonzalez confronted them armed with a knife. In the ensuing struggle, Prasad sustained multiple stab wounds. Ramnarine attempted to intervene but was also attacked and stabbed in the process. Despite his injuries, Ramnarine managed to transport Prasad to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where Prasad succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical attention. Ramnarine was treated at the facility but later chose to discharge himself to seek care at a private hospital. After fleeing the scene, Gonzalez was apprehended by law enforcement. The investigation into the incident is ongoing as authorities gather more information. Sir Clive supports President Ali as new head of CARICOM Subcommittee on Cricket. West Indies cricket legend Sir Clive Lloyd has expressed his support for Guyana President Dr. Irfan Ali, following his appointment as the new chairman of the CARICOM Subcommittee on Cricket. The announcement was made by outgoing chairman Dr. Keith Rowley during the final day of the 48th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Barbados. Sir Clive, a prominent figure in cricket history and one of the sport's most successful captains, praised Dr. Ali's passion for cricket and his commitment to fostering growth, development, and unity among the West Indies nations. I welcome the appointment of Dr. Ali to this very crucial and strategic post in our cricket, Sir Clive stated. He has demonstrated his love for cricket and a true understanding of what is required to move the game forward. He urged Dr. Ali to focus on grassroots and pathway programs across the region, emphasizing the importance of rebuilding West Indies cricket stature on the global stage. This is a pivotal juncture in the history of our cricket, Sir Clive noted, referencing discussions about a possible 2-tier test system which could pose challenges to the game in the region. One of the immediate priorities, according to Sir Clive, is to restore West Indies cricket to its former glory. He called for dialogue between CARICOM, Cricket West Indies, CWI, and the International Cricket Council, ICC, to address the unique challenges faced by Caribbean cricket. We have to re-establish ourselves as a major player and a force in the game, he said, stressing the need for development initiatives starting at the grassroots level. During the Wyndham Hotel meeting, Dr. Rowley announced that it would be his last CARICOM meeting as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. He officially handed over the chairmanship to Dr. Ali, marking a new chapter for the subcommittee. We maintain our interest in the potential for West Indies cricket to remain at a high level internationally, Dr. Rowley stated, highlighting the importance of continued governmental support for the sport. Dr. Rowley also noted that discussions about West Indies cricket had been included in recent heads of government meetings, indicating progress in various areas thanks to talks held in Guyana and Trinidad. As Dr. Ali steps into this significant role, the cricketing community looks forward to his leadership and vision for the future of West Indies cricket. Police recover stolen fishing boat and engines in Corriverton. At approximately 10 a.m. today, police acted on a tip-off and conducted a search at No. 75 Beach, Corriverton, leading to the recovery of a stolen fishing boat marked Avanash. During the search, Officers also discovered 4 Yamaha 40-horsepower engines buried alongside the boat. The recovery follows an alleged theft that occurred around midnight last night at the Aberi Sluice/river mouth in Region No. 5. Reports indicate that 3 unidentified males stole the boat and several outboard engines from multiple fishermen. The stolen property belongs to several individuals, including Kumar Bisnoth, a 54-year-old fisherman from Airy Hall, Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-foot cruiser boat, blue, white, and black, with the name Avinash, along with a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Harry Nareen Persad, 50, from Catherine Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Anthony Gubdios, 39, also from Catherine Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Puran Ramdat, 49, from Good Faith Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Jagdesh Ramdat, 50, from Good Faith Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Dorothy Boudou, 42, from Dundee Mahayakoni, who lost a 60-horsepower Yamaha engine. Takurdial Nareen, 59, from Novar Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Gopal Nareen, 28, from Novar Mahayakoni, who lost a 40-horsepower Yamaha engine. Ryan Solomon, 50, from Paradise, WCB, who lost a 15-horsepower Yamaha engine. According to witnesses, the Aberi Sluice/river mouth is an active fishing area where boats are typically tied up with ropes. Fisherman Michael Semple, 51, reported that he was approached by the suspects while alone in the area. They threatened him with a firearm, tied him up, and began cutting the bolts of the engines using an angle grinder. They then loaded the engines onto Bisnoth's boat, which was filled with gasoline containers. At one point, the suspects untied Semple and forced him to help transfer the engines into the boat. After completing their theft, they tied Semple again and fled with the boat and engines, heading east toward Suriname. After freeing himself, Semple raised the alarm, prompting police involvement. He has since been taken into custody pending further investigation. Authorities continue to investigate the incident and seek information regarding the suspects. Government to expand red beans and black-eyed peas production by 1,000 acres. In a bid to enhance agricultural production and provide farmers with additional income streams, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali announced plans to operationalize 1,000 acres of land for the cultivation of red beans and black-eyed peas by the end of 2025. This initiative aims to bolster production in the Berbis River region. Currently, 77 farmers from Ebony, Kimbia, and surrounding areas are cultivating 663 acres of red beans. President Ali noted that at least 8,000 acres of cultivation are necessary to meet national demand in the initial phase. During an engagement with residents and farmers of Kimbia village, the president explained that each acre is projected to yield approximately 1,600 pounds of red beans. The expansion to 1,000 acres is expected to produce an additional 1.6 million pounds of red beans and black-eyed peas annually, marking a significant transformation from zero production in these savannas to an industry capable of generating millions of pounds of food. This is adding more income to your community, your pocket, and disposable income, President Ali stated, highlighting the government's commitment to supporting farmers who have requested additional land for cultivation. The president emphasized the government's dedication to agriculture and food production, positioning these sectors as the backbone of the nation's economy and its contributions to the Caribbean community, CARICOM. In addition to crop cultivation, President Ali encouraged farmers to explore large-scale swine production, promising government support if there is sufficient community interest. This initiative aims to diversify income sources while enhancing national food security. The government is also extending support to cash crop farmers, providing planting materials, fertilizers, seeds, and farming implements. President Ali proposed incorporating innovation and technology, such as shadehouse techniques for cultivating high-value crops like chili peppers. To further support farmers, the government plans to construct a $1.2 billion silo facility in Kimbia for the storage of legumes. This facility will complement small-scale production efforts and enhance overall output. Accompanying President Ali during this announcement were Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa and other technical staff from the ministry. Under President Ali's leadership, Guyana aims to position itself as a major food supplier to the Caribbean, aligning with the regional goal of achieving self-sufficiency by 2030. 15 months later, families still searching for answers about missing fishermen. Guyana Times. It has been 15 months since Hazrat Razak, a 59-year-old fisherman, and 3 others disappeared at sea, leaving their families in a state of profound uncertainty and grief. Despite the passage of time, the families remain hopeful, continuing their search for answers while clinging to the hope that their loved ones will return. Hazrat Razak, a dedicated fisherman for over 4 decades, went missing on November 16, 2023, after setting out with his uncle, Sisal Prasad, the captain of their boat, and 2 crew members, Vikram Singh and Warren Yipsam. They were on a mission to deliver a battery and alternator to a boat that had broken down. The group was expected to return by Saturday, but when the distressed boat returned without them on Monday, the family's worst fears began to unfold. Hazina Bahadur, Hazrat's daughter, expressed the relentless uncertainty her family has endured since that day. Following their disappearance, the family launched an immediate search. A relative took a boat to the location where the men were believed to be, but mechanical issues forced their return. The Guyana Defense Force, GDF, Coast Guard was alerted, prompting both air and water searches. Although a possible sighting of the boat was reported, by the time authorities arrived, the vessel was no longer in the area, and the search was eventually called off. As months passed without any news, the family's frustration grew. They even reached out to authorities in neighboring Venezuela for assistance, but received no response. "We just want confirmation," said Hazina. "Every day we hope for news." The emotional toll has been immense. Amrita Razak, Hazrat's wife of over 40 years, has remained strong for the sake of their children and grandchildren, yet the absence of her husband has created an irreplaceable void in her life. The pain is deeply felt by Hazrat's grandchildren, especially 12-year-old Sophia, who shared a close bond with her grandfather. Hazina recalls how her father would take Sophia everywhere, just as he once did with her. "My dad and I had a great relationship. He was the best father in the world. We miss him a lot," Hazina shared. She reflected on the challenges of celebrating birthdays and holidays without him, saying, "It's the hardest around birthday time, and spending 2 Christmases without him was not easy." Although the Coast Guard's official search has concluded, the family continues to advocate for further investigation, hoping for answers that have eluded them for over a year. "We just want closure," Hazina stated. As time continues to pass, the Razak family remains resolute in their determination to find the missing men, clinging to hope and the desire for answers.